Well, we're continuing our series on the season of light, where as we look around us, we're finding that the world is growing darker. It's because the sun is changing in its cycles, rotations, all these kind of things happening with the world around us. And we're finding that in this midst of darkness, we're anticipating a shift and a change. For as we look for that solstice to unfold for us, it brings about the dawning of a new journey that takes us to a longer day and more light. So it is that very Christmas season embodies this very truth as the light is coming to our lives and we're celebrating in a fresh new way the very light of the Christ brought through Jesus. Our season of this light has been unfolding in a series for us, and the first week we talked about that we just need more light in this world. We talked about all the Christmas decorations, remember? Wondering, do we really need one more light? Oh, yes, we do. And that is the light of you. We talked about the purpose of this very light is to shine, not for ourselves and for our own ego or our own purpose, but to radiate beyond that in the sense of sharing light with the world around us, for that was our true purpose. And today, as we unfold the journey even more so, we're saying, light my fire. Wow, there's a big statement right there. Light my fire, ignite me. Set me aflame. Let it be so that I am lit up in such a powerful way with the divine awareness of light within my life that I just become a radiating beacon for the world to experience. For the desire is to be more than just present. More than just present in life, but to be a presence of illuminating force. More than just being and existing and walking through the day-to-day routines of life. More than just being here and wondering why we're here on this earth. But to be there with a purpose that is to be a presence. A presence that is an illuminating force that guides and shines for one another, for all the world to see. To see the love, the grace, to see the perfect peace, to discover that happiness and joy, the abundant life that is spoken and available for each and every one. Where people are present and they are in rooms where they have life, where sometimes life is going by and it's a room of darkness because they haven't allowed that light to shine. There are lamps that are not burning lights. They are lamps that have not been switched on. They are beacons, unaware of their very power to show and reveal. You've heard that statement, someone's home but not all the lights are on. I mean that sometimes in the journey of our spiritual life. We're home. We forgot to turn that light on. We forgot to acknowledge that there's a radiant force within us. This divine power and presence of God that wants to illuminate one another's pathway. Not just our own, but the pathways of others all around us. So today we're focusing on lighting that fire within, and it begins, first of all, with us acknowledging a wonderful and powerful principle of life. That I am surrounded by infinite possibilities. Wow, let's say that together. I am surrounded by infinite possibilities. All around you, everywhere you go, as you walk, as you move, infinite possibilities abound. They surround you as you walk in that full awareness that there's something amazing waiting to unfold for your life. People ask me, how are things going? You know, the church has experienced a traumatic storm and torrential rains. We lost our carpet. Everything seemed to be in disarray. We're getting ready to move to a new location. There's all kinds of challenges as we're busy with the times of everything unfolding for us. And I just said, I can't even describe it. All I can say is that I'm in the midst of amazing. I feel like I'm in the midst of amazing. For all around me, everywhere we go, there are infinite possibilities. All I can say is I'm in the midst of this. I can't describe it to you fully because I don't know how the amazing is going to unfold completely, but I'm in the midst of it, captivated by it, surrounded by it. And that's a wonderful place to be, that we're so centered in, located in the very center of the good, that amidst all around us, everywhere we go, is infinite possibilities. It's wonderful to be in the center. Not off to one side, not off to the right, not off to the middle, off of the middle, but in the very center of something. That wonderful place to be where in that you are seeing the options flowing either way. Step back, it's all good. Step forward, it's all good. Step to the left, here we go. Step to the right, are you with me? Electric slide, here we go. It's that kind of spiritual thing that we're unfolding for when we're in the midst of all of this goodness. For this is the spiritual cry. Light my fire. It's the spiritual cry of those who choose to be a light for the world. And if they do so, the first thing they want to do is get close. Close. Really close to the source. What happens when you get really close to fire? You ignite, don't you? Ever light a gas fireplace? You got this little magic little lighter. You hear that hush of the gas coming through the palm, and all of a sudden light hits and whoosh. There's this whoosh that happens, this sound as the flame takes off, as it ignites, as it came in contact with the fire, the gas ignites, and it sort of gives this sort of whoosh sound that says the fireplace is lit. Let me tell you this, when we get into that divine presence, there is a holy whoosh that moves across our lives. This sense of feeling ignited. We came close to the presence, close to the divine, close, so aware in our time of prayer, meditation, so centered in it. We feel that we're in the midst of all the amazing around us. Suddenly there's a whoosh, a holy whoosh, an igniting of our very spirit to this full awareness that there's something amazing happening, and we're in the midst of it. Today's scripture text suggests this very truth for us. Be dressed. None of you be naked. Come on. Be dressed. Get ready. Because the doorbell's going to ring, and you don't want to go there unprepared, not looking your best. Be dressed, be ready, and keep your lamps burning. What a powerful thing for us. Be dressed and be ready at all times in spirit, because that's the way the fires are continually ignited within us. Be dressed and ready all times to keep those lamps burning within you. And to do this, we have to come in contact with that source that ignites us, and that's becoming in unity with it. Coming into a sense of oneness with the divine. Not separate, not something outside of our life, not something removed at all, but to be dwelling completely in the sense of a oneness. A conscious connection is made. A consciousness that we are aware that we're divinely in that presence and centered in it. It's one of those things to be focused, to be so centered that you're fully aware that nothing else disturbs you. So often in our day-to-day life, we like to multitask, don't we? We're watching TV, we're on the laptop computer, we're surfing the internet, we're carrying on a conversation, and we're having dinner. I know how it is. You're all up there and you're watching the news, you're looking, surfing the internet, you're eating and you're talking to your beloveds, and you're all engaged, and that's how we live our life, kind of a multitasking world. But you know, when we do that, do we really remember what we're eating? Do we remember what we're hearing on the news? Are we really focused on what's being offered to us on the internet? And most of all, have we even heard our beloved say something in the room? We hear it, you know what I mean? It's something in the background. When you're in the presence of God, one of the things you cannot do is multitask. Why? You've got to be conscious to make this connection. That means setting aside everything else. We don't go to God with our problems. We go to God to be with God, not carrying the problems there. Why? Because in God, there are no problems. Right? So to be fully in God, it's not like, God, can I talk to you about my problems? God, can I speak? Let me just share. Here's my problem. Here's my challenge. Here's the issue. Here's the people around me that I'm talking about. And before you know it, what you're doing is multitasking. You're distracting. You're not really in a conscious unity, a oneness with a divine presence. That's so important. Coming in contact with a divine source, we must have an understanding. Understanding's got to pass through our minds. Because if we don't understand it, we say, well, I don't get it. We don't understand it, we don't get it. You know, the experience is so much greater if we know what it is, if we understand what it is, if we understand what's going on, right? How about some of the examples? Anyone go to the Nutcracker and say, I didn't get it? What was that all about? see men in tights. What was that all about? What is this going on? People jumping all around, and I didn't get it. It wasn't there for me. You didn't understand. How about watching a holiday football game? Some of you may say, I don't understand it. People are not interested because they can't figure out what's going on. Who's got the ball? What's a quarterback? What's a fullback? You know? Do I get anything back? What is this going on here? I don't quite get it. I don't understand, so I'm not enjoying the experience. How about this holiday season? You go to your relatives, and you get that all so familiar, unfamiliar, ethnic holiday dish. You know? Like, what is this? Aunt so-and-so, Uncle Harry's meant something or other. It's their favorite, whatever. I lived in Minneapolis. And in Minneapolis, in that Nordic, Scandinavian, Swedish environment, one of the holiday favorites was lutefisk. If you don't know what lutefisk is, don't ask, because it's better you don't understand in one of these cases. Lutefisk is that gelatinous fish. That's a traditional Nordic dish that's been aged and dried and treated with lye. Sounds delicious. And it becomes so treated that it kind of gets into a gelatinous state. Some of the protein of the fish is missing and it kind of wiggles. So it's fishy, gelatinous, kind of a jello that tastes like tuna. And I'm like, whoa, what am I eating? Well, you don't understand. And you don't understand the traditions behind it and why people enjoy it and why it's such a familiar thing. Because let me tell you this. Limited understanding equals limited experience. It's just that simple. A limited understanding of God, who and what His divine presence is only going to unfold a limited experience for you. So the invitation is to get close to the source, to get so close to the fire, to be so centered in the midst of all that is amazing and the infinite possibilities that you begin to understand the unfolding of the ununderstandable. In other words, the infiniteness of God. You begin the journey of experiencing it to some depths. You say, this is the unfolding of good. And as I try to experience it, I find that there's something amazing happening. A little bit of a gift of comprehension. That somehow this awareness of what God is now passing through my thoughts and absorbing my everyday thinking and filling me with an everyday newness and an awareness. Because if we want to experience something, we've got to be conscious of it, understand it, and be fully aware. You know what it's like when you go to surgery and they put you to sleep with that lovely little happy gas, you know? Little stuff that they give you somehow, whether it be days they give it to you this way, somehow they give it to you this way, who knows how they give it to you, but you've got this wonderful thing that you're saying. You're talking, all of a sudden, boop, 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 you tripped up. There you are. And you are out. And you don't know what's happened to you for the next who knows how long. And then you wake up in recovery, don't you? And you go, when are they going to start surgery? And the nurse says, sir, it's time for you to wake up. Your surgery was wonderful. Everything went great. And great. It did? When? How? Where? I don't remember a single thing. I wasn't even conscious. We go to surgery and they put us to sleep, but hopefully we're not, because we're hopefully not aware of what's going on. But let me tell you this, for the one who wants to be a light in the world, you got to know what's going on. You can't be taking some of that unconscious juice that kind of dumbs you down, pulls you away, distracts you. There's so much things in this world that would like to pull away from our consciousness of the all good and the awareness of God's divine love. And don't you hate it when something good is going on around you and you missed it? Don't you hate that? You're like, what? You know, when I was younger, someone said, did you see that guy hitting on you? What? He was hitting on me? And I missed it? What? How was I so clueless of that one? Someone was talking to me and they were cruising me or whatever. Like, where did I miss that? Dang. Don't you hate it when you miss something good going on in your world, in your life? Every day, something amazing is unfolding. The goodness of God is happening. The goodness of God is hitting on you. Mm-hmm. The goodness of God is tapping on you. The goodness of God is cruising after you. says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow all the days of your life. That's what that is. Now I know what's following behind me. It's surely goodness. It's the goodness of God, right? It's coming after me. But you're going to miss it if you're not conscious, if you're not aware. You haven't invested your energy into being alert, to experience that holy whoosh. To experience it, we must be constantly clear and definite and concrete in our desire. Not multitasking, not distracted, but focused. Oh, there's a beautiful passage in Scripture. It says, thou wilt keep him or her in perfect peace, whose mind strays away and is distracted by shiny things. No, whose mind is stayed on thee. Isn't that what it says? Stayed. It didn't say distracted. It didn't say running off here for every different tangent. It didn't say, multitasking and divided in attention. It says stayed. That's what it's all about. Because when we're stayed, and in that staying power that's so required for us, there is something amazing that happens. In that staying power, we hold on and we completely believe and hold to these truths that have been given to us. And we stay. We're not divided, not distracted, nor led away. You can say, I am healed. And I stay in that consciousness. And there's peace. I am well. And we stay in that consciousness. And there is peace. I am prosperous, and we stay in that consciousness. And peace comes like a river overflowing our soul and our spirit and transforming us. And that wonderful thing is that it happens when there is a consciousness that is consistent, stayed on God, that allows then that fire of the divine to burn within us. In this consciousness, we feel the fire, the intensity of the light all around us. And though we're in the very center of that flame, that's when it's burning the brightest. Getting into the center of that divine presence, right? Where's the hottest spot of the fire? It's the center. Why? Because as the flame rises up, it moves out, further away from the source and into the cold breeze and the cool air. Even though it's still warm and the temperature is hot, it's not as hot and not as pure and refined as it is in the very center. So the closer to the center, the hotter you become. You want to be hot? I won't say, you could be hot. Here's your chance to be hot. Get to the center. Get in the center of the divine presence. So today what we're saying here is this, that our cry of the spiritual being who wants to be the light for the world is that I am light. I light my fire in this moment. I ignite it as I move consciously closer to the center. I know I'm dwelling in the midst and I'm stayed in this very truth. I'm anchored in it and consciously aware. I shout out the spiritual cry as one who chooses to be a light for the world, knowing that I'm present, but that I'm also a presence that is an illuminating force. This is our cry. Would you say it with me? Today, I light my fire. Say it. Today, I light my fire.